When the Medici become royalty, their whole philosophy of patronage, of course, has to change. In the 15th century, it was this constant, who the hell do you think you are kind of paranoia. But when you become legitimate monarchs of a city, then you're expected to go over the top. And that's exactly what we find here in the Chapel of the Princes, right? What I like to call the Las Vegas of the Renaissance, right? Just about every square inch of surface covered in some form of decoration, whether it be the floor, the walls, and or the ceiling. And what you have here is an arrangement where the sarcophagi are actually lifted up above the ground. So the notion that even in death, the dukes rule over us. And hopefully none of you think that the Medici dukes were physically as large as the sarcophagi that you see here. Their egos may have been, but they were not. You notice also that the niches behind me are empty. Right? They were meant to contain effigies of the actual dukes themselves, but most of them were never produced, only 2 out of 6. Right? And then you have the inscription above the tombs, indicating to which duke or grand duke the tomb was dedicated. And in fact, the inscription reads, Cosmus the First, right? The letter M for Magna or Grand, then DUX for Dukes, and then ETR for Etruria. Cosimo I, Grand Duke of Etruria, which was the ancient name of Tuscany. Why are they alluding to the Etruscans? Because the Etruscans were kings. In other words, these Medici dukes putting themselves in line with the Etruscan kings of the past, of the area that they control. Above the inscription, then, you have this rather elaborate frame meant to contain the Medici coat of arms. But again, here you see that most of them are empty. Above that, you have the clear story level, right? The area where you have these 8 windows. And as much as the Medici would love to think that the sun is sitting directly above this structure and illuminating it from all sides, in fact, it's electric lighting that illuminates that upper space. And then finally, the frescoes that you have up there on the dome, which were actually executed in the end of the 1800s. In other words, while in Paris, artists like Cézanne and Monet were revolutionizing the world, here in Florence, we're still painting like we did in the 1500s. And consider as well that the floors that I'm standing on, right, were put together in the 1920s. Because when that last of the Medici died, Anna Maria Luisa, this structure was left essentially unfinished and was only then completed at the end of the 19th and beginning of the 20th centuries.